Alright everyone, welcome back to my C# programming tutorial. Um, this time we're gonna learn about data types. Well, I'm just gonna delete the code from the previous example or tutorial, whatever. Um, in C# you have what's called a data type. It doesn't it does matter what kind of thing you put where, so to speak. We have things called integers, which, just like in math, are, well, whole numbers. To declare an integer, you write int, or int, for integer. Then you give it a name. Let's call it my integer. And then we assign a value to it. We don't have to do this immediately. We could just do this and call it a day. But we could just as well assign a value to it immediately. So let's say I want it to be 5. And always remember to put the semicolon at the end. The semicolon indicates that the line ends, and this is our instruction. Integers can only store whole numbers, so that is anything from negative, I don't even remember anymore, a couple of millions actually, up to the same positive amount, -1. But if, let's say, I want a decimal number, stored in an integer, let's say 5.1, it will give me an error. Why is that? Well, it says that it's a struct system.double. Basically what that means is that we need a floating point type to make decimal numbers. Alright, so now we know that there's a difference between floating points and integer types. To get a floating point number, type double. The reason why it's called a double is because it's a double precision floating point number. In C++, there's also a type called float. It's still in here, but you never ever use it. The only difference between a float and a double is that a double has twice the amount of decimal places after the dot. Anyway, then we got what's called a char, or a character. Which is basically, a single character. You can choose to do like this. This is, the char now stores a in it, or what we could do is hold on, just pull something up from the depths of the internet. We could pull something up called an Ascii table, and then we can assign a number to the char. This isn't really important right now. As you can see, it's called a char, HTML code, an octal, hex code, and decimal. So we can write, if we want the small a, 97. This should still work. 97. This is the exact same thing, except maybe not. It's still possible, it just isn't terribly happy about it. Sorry about that. I don't really use chars all that much, so yeah. Stuff happens. Anyway, then we got strings. A string is what you saw in the first tutorial. You use double quotes, and then you write something, and you close it off, and that's your string. The difference between a char and a string is that a char is a list is a list. I'm derping right now. Sorry. A string is a list of chars. So basically, this is the same as S O M E. You get the idea. By the way, this is called a comment. Everything after two slashes is called a comment. The program will ignore that bit of code. The next data type is the decimal. It's kind of similar to doubles, except for the fact that they store floating point numbers like before, but they only have 2 decimal points. The decimal numbers are used to store values for example, currencies, money, stuff like that. So like we have $50. Apparently not. That's weird. Alright. That's new. That never happened before. Well, this is an unscripted tutorial. I can't expect everything. Anyway, but yeah. Let's try write a small program that uses some of these. Let's say we have an integer called age, and we have a string called name, and then we're going to write that to the terminal. So first we're going to do console.writeLine, just like before, and then we're going to do this. Hello, comma, my name is left curly bracket 0 right curly bracket. We get to y later. And my name is left curly bracket 1 right curly bracket, comma, name, comma, age. But before we do that, let's do this. Because right now, name doesn't have anything and age doesn't have anything. So how do we solve that? Well, let's say age equals 20. I'm 20 years old. Fair enough. Name equals Nico. There we go. And now, if we run the program, hold on. Let's just make sure the program doesn't close immediately. There we go. And we run the program. It will write, hello, my name is, and on the spot where it says 0, it pulls out the variable called name, and on the spot where it said 1, it pulls out the variable called 20. You might find that to be weird, but basically what the numbers mean is that the 0th spot, that's this one. Oops, sorry, we don't even need that many. Like so, this is the 0th spot, and this is the first spot. If we wrote this instead, 1 and 0, it would say, hello, my name is 20. No. Oh, damn. Age. I keep derping for some reason. And my age is Nico. Let's try that. As you see, it took the first spot first, and then the 0th spot later. If I write 1 twice, it'll say, hello, my name is 20, and my age is 20. Pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, that concludes the brief introduction to variables. In the next tutorial, I will start talking about what's called an array. But we'll get to that later. See ya.